40,000 years ago, the world was a canvas of ice and raw wind, a formidable, unforgiving expanse where survival was a daily negotiation with the elements. Yet, even in this stark, primordial landscape, humanity found its sanctuary. Home wasn't a structure built by hands, but a warm globe carved into the very stone of the earth, a cave mouth framed by icicles, promising refuge from the endless tundra beyond. This wasn't merely shelter, it was the cradle of early civilization, a testament to an innate human drive to find safety and create a haven against overwhelming odds. At the heart of that refuge burned fire, a second sun, fiercely guarded through every long, dark night. This wasn't a casual flame. It was a meticulously maintained lifeline, a constant effort by hands weathered by the elements. They would gently feed dry twigs, carefully coaxing life from glowing coals, watching sparks dance upwards like tiny, desperate prayers. Fire was more than just warmth, it was life itself. It cooked their food, making it digestible and safer. It hardened their tools, extending their reach and power. It provided light, pushing back the encroaching darkness and the fearsome predators that lurked within it. It was the pulsating heart for the community, the central gathering point where stories were shared, plans were made, and the very essence of their culture was forged. Within the cave's embrace, alcoves became sleeping chambers, meticulously prepared spaces that offered a semblance of comfort. Raised beds of branches, soft moss, and thick furs offered a precious shield against the cold, damp rock. A parent, with a quiet, loving gesture, would shake out a pelt, tucking it tight around a sleeping child, a profound act of care in a world that offered little softness. Hide and moss, painstakingly gathered and prepared, traded the biting teeth of cold for hours of precious, restorative sleep. It was in these small, deliberate acts of care, in the creation of these intimate spaces, that love truly showed its face, laying the foundation for family and community bonds that would define our species. Survival was a testament to ingenuity, a relentless pursuit of solutions in a world of scarcity. Stone was cut with precision, bone stitched with care, sinew bound with strength. Nothing, absolutely nothing, was wasted. Every animal provided not just food, but hides for clothing and shelter, bones for tools and needles, sinew for thread, and fat for fuel and light. A sharp flint edge, tested with a thumbnail, meant the difference between a successful hunt and an empty stomach, between life and death. Every tool, from the simplest scraper to the most intricate spear thrower, was an extension of their will to live, a silent promise to endure, embodying a profound understanding of materials and mechanics that predates formal science by millennia. But caves were not always enough. When the familiar shelters filled, or the herds of migrating animals moved on, the vast frozen plain itself became a village of skins. Hide tents, meticulously constructed and huddled together by a frozen river, stood as defiant beacons against the relentless snow. Breath plumed in the air, a visible sign of life in a world that sought to claim it. These nomadic structures, often made from mammoth hides or reindeer skins, were marvels of portable engineering. They carried their home with them, dismantling and reassembling it with practiced efficiency, a testament to their unwavering adaptability and their deep connection to the rhythms of the natural world. The relentless march of winter demanded foresight, a profound understanding of seasonal cycles and the critical need for preparation. Butchering tables laden with the bounty of a successful hunt saw strips of meat hung to freeze dry, a natural preservation method that allowed sustenance through lean times. Marrow bones were cracked for their rich, energy-dense sustenance, a vital source of calories in a harsh environment. Fat, rendered in a stone bowl near the flames, was not just food. It was a precious fuel, saved soft for light, for warmth, for life itself. Every provision, every carefully stored morsel, was a victory against the encroaching hunger, a testament to collective planning and the wisdom of experience. In this harsh landscape, knowledge was their truest medicine, passed down through generations with reverence. Snow, melted in a bark pot over coals, became a vessel for healing. An elder, with eyes that held the wisdom of countless winters, would carefully drop pine resin into the hot water, or open a pouch of bitter lichen. These were the camp medicines, a sophisticated understanding of the earth's quiet remedies, learned through generations of trial and error. They knew which plants could staunch bleeding, which could reduce fever, and which held spiritual significance. This deep empirical knowledge of their environment was a critical component of their survival, a holistic approach to well-being that integrated physical and spiritual health. The future of their people rested on small, eager hands, absorbing every lesson. A child, tracing animal tracks in ash, would have their small hand guided by an adult, learning the reindeer's hoofprint, the subtle arrows marking the wind's direction, the signs of a passing wolf. Knowledge wasn't written in books. It was passed hand to hand, step to step, a living legacy. Through observation, imitation, and direct instruction, children learned the vital skills of hunting, gathering, tool making, and shelter construction. This continuous transfer of practical wisdom ensured the survival of the group, embedding a profound respect for tradition and the accumulated experience of their ancestors. And sometimes, when the voices of the day slept, they spoke to the stone itself, ochre palms pressed against rock, charcoal outlines of mammoths and bison glowing in the firelight. With a hollow bone, they would breathe spray pigment, leaving behind not just images, but memories, stories, and the very essence of their spirit. On stone, they stored what words could not always hold, creating the world's first art galleries. These cave paintings were not mere decorations. They were likely records of hunts, spiritual rituals, teaching aids, or expressions of their deep connection to the animal world. They represent a profound leap in human consciousness, the desire to leave a mark, to communicate across time, to imbue their existence with meaning beyond mere survival. Safety was a circle, drawn tight against the vast, indifferent night. At the cave's entrance, a lone watcher, spear in hand, stood silhouetted against the starlit snow, listening, glancing towards the dark tree line. Someone was always awake, always vigilant, their quiet sacrifice ensuring the sleep of others. The constant threat of predators, rival groups, and the unpredictable forces of nature demanded an unwavering commitment to collective security. This shared responsibility, this unspoken trust in one another, forged an unbreakable bond within the community, where individual vigilance contributed directly to the survival of all. But even in the struggle, there was joy, there was communion. Around the hearth, a group gathered, steam rising from a shared stew, the aroma filling the cave. The first bowl, a gesture of respect, went to the elder, then to the child, symbolizing the hierarchy and care within their society. Smiles, flickering in the fire glow, spoke volumes, transcending the need for complex language. Sharing kept bodies warm, yes, but more profoundly, it kept hearts steady, bound together by a common purpose, by shared laughter, and by the simple, profound comfort of human connection. These moments of shared sustenance and camaraderie were as vital to their survival as any tool or shelter. Then, with the first light of dawn, the journey would begin anew. A line of people, their breath misting in the cold, would leave the camp, a sled trailing behind. Mountains blue in the distance, footsteps crunching softly, stitched a path across the fresh snow, marking their passage through an untamed world. In a world that demanded everything, courage was not an act, but a routine, a quiet determination to face another day. Today they walked, tomorrow they would endure. And in that enduring, in their relentless adaptation, their profound ingenuity, and their unwavering spirit of community, they carved the very path for all of us who came after, laying the foundation for the complex, resilient species we are today.